I want to raise to the attention of the Parliament the SDA's campaign to increase retail workers' annual leave entitlements to 5 weeks per year, which has resulted in groundbreaking enterprise agreements with 3 very large employers. The SDA is the union for retail, fast food and warehouse workers. Across Australia, more than 1.3 million people work in retail. We all remember the horrific news stories during the pandemic about the increased verbal and physical violence towards retail workers. The abuse has continued with ongoing supply chain issues, interest rate hikes and cost of living pressures. This is why it was one of our key election commitments to create stronger penalties for those who harass or abuse retail workers, and why it was one of the first bills put through by the Minns Labor government. Retail work is high pressure and often physically exhausting. The increase in abuse has only fueled the fatigue. Over the years, the nature of retail work and the hours required have changed, but leave entitlements have not kept up. Adding an extra week of annual leave for retail workers will aid in workers' health, happiness and work-life balance, while also providing more opportunities for workers to participate in the economy. Bunnings and IKEA are already on board with the SDA. The SDA first landed the unprecedented enterprise agreement with Bunnings early last year. The agreement provides for 5 weeks of annual leave per year for 40,000 workers to be instated gradually. Bunnings' Chief People Officer Damien Zara spoke out about the new agreement in the Sydney Morning Herald, noting that attracting and retaining an effective team was a significant motivator. Late last year, the SDA negotiated another industry-leading enterprise agreement, this time with IKEA. Several significant updates were made in the agreement, including allowing for 5 weeks of annual leave. For those working overnight shifts, annual leave was lifted to 6 weeks annually. Speaking on the additional leave entitlements provided in the new agreement, IKEA's co-worker experience manager Greg Day said, and I quote, "We believe it makes for a more engaged workforce who can more easily balance work and home life and want to build a meaningful career in retail with us." These huge wins for IKEA and Bunnings workers were only possible with the hard work of the SDA negotiating the changes. Last year, another new agreement, this time coordinated by the SDA as well as the Australian Services Union, allowed for 5 extra days of special leave for Apple workers, a fantastic result. Increasing leave entitlements benefits not only workers but also companies. With extra annual leave, teams will be better rested and more workers will want to work for and stay with their employers. Now, Mr. Deputy President, I highlight this because it shows how valuable, despite what some people attempt to argue in this place and outside this place, that unions are becoming an irrelevance. To the contrary, we have unions like the Shop Distributive Allied Workers Union negotiating agreements with huge employers for an extra week annual leave, which I think is absolutely groundbreaking. And it's the idea of unions working with employers to better the welfare outcomes for the population, which after all is the key that we're all after. We do not live in an abstract economy where human resource is just an input. In the end, the reason we want a good economy and a good society is because we all want to enjoy life, because we're human beings, manifesting and feeling what's around us. If we're feeling good about our work, we're likely to be much, much more productive. The economy expands, everyone benefits, and you're enjoying going to work. So I again want to recognise the union for this groundbreaking enterprise agreement. It is phenomenal, and I hope that it becomes the model to implement right across industry. Why shouldn't we have an extra week of annual leave right across the economy? It will make people feel more productive and happy about their jobs, and it's been shown across several studies and case examples overseas that when workers are happier, they feel more satisfied in their jobs, productivity goes up. It's a win-win. It's groundbreaking stuff from a union that does good stuff for their workers. And I want to congratulate Bernie Smith, the Secretary of the SDA, and Barbara Niebart for this groundbreaking reform.